576 I'm up to now. So 1630, good luck. So we have no head-to-head score, so we've not played before. 25,000 games for my opponent, that's really impressive. Not so many in the other time controls, hence there's a bit of a gap there, but not too big. I'll play the normal carrow. You can pretty much pre-move d5 against everything that white does, but it is rapid, so no need to. We'll just develop here and try and collect our pawn back. He could throw a check in, he doesn't. I was trying to remember, make sure I'm not blundering my theory, but I think it's okay to take. Here we can simply block, or we can block here. I'm just going to prepare a check. I can block checks if he tries to throw them in. So how do I want to do this? Yeah, if he comes up here, trades and goes with a knight, he would lose a pawn. So he needs to take with a queen. So I'm happy to trade and just castle. So he knows what he's doing so far. And then I just need to decide what I'm going to do with the bishop and the knight. King's relatively safe, but you still got to look out for the Greek gift idea. Might happen. Okay, so he's played a folding move there. I'm not sure he needs to do this. I think I'm just going to develop my knight and quietly drop the queen back somewhere. I think the bishop's probably better here, aiming for the Greek gift, and I'll probably push a pawn. Okay, so he's gone there. We could come across and try and trade and go to an end game. We can come this side, we can drop back over. I'm not sure I want to drop all the way back actually. I think I might go this way. I'm going to go this way. We guard the king a little bit, and we can try and activate the rooks in the middle. And just put pressure on this pawn. We just have to figure out what we're doing with our bishop. If we do this, it weakens the knight, but it gets the bishop a bit more active. So there's no threat I'm creating here. It's more just a defensive move. But now if I go across, we're just putting a little bit of pressure here. But he might be looking at simply knight down. So I could drop back here now and attack the pawn, encourage him to castle. Not sure I want to do that, so I could do this, then he comes in, that's no good. So here, castle, pawn up, it feels fine, doesn't it? I could spend a move, just rook across and see how he wants to do it. Knight down, it's getting slightly awkward for me, and it's slightly awkward. So what about queen forward castling, or queen back? Let's just drop the queen back and see if he castles. Now if he plays knight in, I'm fine to take because there's no attack on my queen. Unless he does this, he might do something like that. He doesn't. So I assume I want to do this and develop. I don't think I've got anything better. If he pushes, I can always trade and still try and develop or shift somewhere. Just try and be careful not to lose my rook in the process. So he does attack the queen. So I think I just shuffle here. Again, I don't think the Greek gift works because my queen's in defensive mode, so if he takes now, I think I'm safe to take back. But it could do, you never know. Take, knight in, I can drop back, and there's no easy way for the queen to get in. But I'm just trying to develop, activate my rooks. So he's trying to line it up. Oh, has he got this as a threat? Not quite, doesn't quite work, does it? I'm just going to kill the idea straight away by going here. If he comes here now, I've got knight up and I can trade the knight for bishop. Otherwise, I'm just going to develop here. But I'm just trying to kill that idea. Right, now I've developed, so I'm just going to try and activate the rooks somewhere or other. Knight in. Probably play one of the rooks across, I'm not sure. I'm a little bit down on time, but we're pretty much equal. But just rooks across are very natural. Just got to watch out for pressure coming on my f7 pawn. I say queen here gives us a chance for knight up, and we can maybe trade the knight for bishop. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. So he's coming down with an idea to go here, so I might want to force an endgame. But I can just grab a pawn in the process, I think, now. So I think he's made a mistake. If he takes, I simply take. If he takes here, I simply take. And I don't think the rook is quick enough up, I drop back. So take if he comes down here. I can simply drop the queen back and I've gained a pawn, I think. I think I can take here. If I'm blundering, but I don't see it, so I'm going to grab the pawn. Again, if bishop takes, I think I'm fine just to take back. If knight in, I think I can still just drop straight back. So I've just taken the pawn. If it's a blunder, it's a blunder. But I'm threatening to take his knight if he does nothing and ignores it, so he has come forward. So I will drop back and offer the queen trade and just argue that I'm simply up a pawn. And we are hitting the bishop as well if he forgets about it and drops his knight back. Or if he drops his queen back now. Okay, so he just needs to pay attention that his bishop's under attack, not the knight. So he has come forward to trade that. So trade, it all seems good. My bishop's not doing anything, so I'm happy to trade. So I think I just need to activate my rooks now. So here or here, doesn't matter. I'm favouring this one. If in, I go forward. If he challenges the file, he actually blunders a check. Or I take the rook first and then check. So he doesn't have rook across. Here, I can always check and redeploy. I can just run back. I've got options. But I'm going to try and get my rooks further forward in the game. Okay, so again, if he does this, I think I simply take. So I think I go forward here and pressure the pawn. Rook up, I can double up or I can just trade. I don't see any reason not to do that and hit the pawn. Idea just to bring my other rook into play. I say he doesn't have rook here, I can simply take and knight check. So he has found that move, that's a good move, but I think I've just got rook across here now. Now knight down, or I can just take and rook across next. Actually that's probably perfectly fine. I'm going to do that first and go to the open file. Try and throw a check in and grab a pawn. He does have king forward, but then I can check as well. So he just needs to see that there's a basic threat there to try and win a pawn. If he goes here, I check here. If he goes here, I could check here. I'm not sure I should, but I'm just looking at trying to activate my pieces. Common sense moves. So he's come forward to attack. So now I think I just throw him a check in. Now he can't block, I just win the rook. King here, I can check. Here, the knight's off the board, and then we're still attacking two pawns, so that should be very good for me. So I don't think there's much else to calculate. I'm just trying to make sure I don't blunder something sloppy, but I just don't see it, so I'm going here. Idea to check. We'll get the knight off the board. Oh, he's gone back over. Okay, I didn't expect that. Well, I could still do the same thing, or I could grab the pawn. So do I need the knight off the board is a question. If I do this now, takes, he's in time to guard his pawn. So I'm leaning more towards taking the pawn. It still gives him a chance to blunder. Yeah, I think I'm okay to take the pawn. It gives him a chance to blunder the rook. And I've still got a check threat to force the knight off the board now, but having gained another pawn. So we're 2 pawns up now. So I just need to try and stop him getting his rook around the back to get after my king. So again, I've got the same move now. I don't see how I deflect his knight. So I could just do this and solidify, then I'm really rock solid and just run up the board and it should be a win. There might be a technical draw somewhere, but I'm definitely going to be better. I don't see, like I say, how I deflect the knight and kick the knight away, so I'm just going to play it. Hold on, do I go with this pawn actually, just to mix the structure up? Oh, he's not seen it, so I can take either piece. I'm going to take the free knight. It might have been technically better to go for the rook there, but it's still a clean piece. He just missed that he had knight takes, that's all. So it might have been better to actually take there and give my knight away, rook versus knight. It might have been a bit easier to convert it. Well, now he's trading, so it should be very routine now. As long as I don't allow him to queen, then I should be fine here. Actually, let's get rid of this pawn and bring my king across in the process. Then his king can't step forward. Okay. It's got to be good to just advance here. We're cutting his king squares here, so it should be a routine win now. It should be, but you can always throw a sloppy blunder or mouse slip in. King goes back. Okay. So now I think I'll work on this side. You know, there's too many pawns too far apart. His king can't deal with them. Again, I'll go here to stop him coming in. If he pushes, I just simply ignore it and push on. I mean, I could even take. Okay, he's gone there. So now I think I'll just push here and I create a pass pawn on this side. And if he comes back, I just create a pass pawn on the other side. And the king can't possibly stop them. A decent effort by my opponent, considering there's a 600-point rating gap though. But we managed to get the win, so we'll put it through the engine as per usual. Just see if we made any mistakes, especially early in the game. Caro-Kann accelerated panel of attack. If you click on that, it'll bring up some puzzles. It was a good effort by my opponent there. Considering there's a 600-point rating gap, it's never easy when you're playing somebody who's just at a different level. Doesn't matter what level we all play at. Yeah, so this is about where we've gained an advantage. So we're essentially level here. So the final result is what? 96% versus 88% accuracy. Centre pawn lost 17, opponent 42. My average is about 32. And it's round about here where we've gained an advantage. And that's where my opponent's blunder is. And it allowed me to win a pawn, didn't it, with queen h6. And we were able to win the pawn. And we could defend the position. And we managed to go on and win a second pawn. Then it was relatively comfortable there when my opponent just missed taking back. Might be a technical draw here, but the engine's still saying we're plus 3.6, so we should be winning them better. So a pretty good win, but good effort by my opponent there.